So I just picked up the drive shaft. It's been shortened. I got new bearings and new freaking joints. I'm not really good with remembering what these things are called. But anyway, that cage there. Got a new bearing there. And there goes the welds. Same deal. New bearings. All that in there. So I'm gonna throw it in now, and we should get this puppy moving on its own power. All right, so I got the drive shaft installed. They're torqued. They're torqued to 76 foot-pounds. This center bearing is torqued to 47 foot-pounds. And of course the rear is torqued to 47 foot-pounds because they're the same bolts as the fronts. All right, this thing should be able to move on its own power now. Move on to the next step. All right, so I'm thinking about this plumbing for the intercooler, and I believe I should be able to get that pipe, that one there, to connect in the turbo. Get that to connect in the turbo. And you have to chop this and connect that. Probably have to cut that back, get that to connect. When I chop this now, look at this curve. That looked like a good curve. Let's take this curve, put it here, and have it drop in to the intercooler up pipe here. I think that'll work. Now, only problem is to do it. Nothing but to do it. All right, look at this. I found a pipe that I had laying around from the 6.4, and it looks like it could fit pretty good. May have to give it a bend, or two. But that is the general idea. All right, still chop this one over here, of course. It's not gonna be too hard. All right, quick shot of what the under pipe looks like. Comes out of the intercooler on the bottom and runs up. Of course, I gotta put the fan up before all this gets buttoned up. All right, doing a little bit of unboxing here. You've got my air filter system for the F350. And as you can see here, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty self-explanatory, and this will allow me to retain the factory air box for the 6.4. All right, let's put it in, see what you look like. Okay, here's our first dry test fit. So connect to the turbo, twist and turn, and then it's gonna sit like that inside the original box. It has these little tabs where the original box will sit or perch and hold that position. Let me try to put the cover on. All right, so here's the cover. Now, I didn't hook up these the heater core lines just yet because I wasn't sure how much line I was gonna need once everything was in this way. But coming close to start being able to trim that back. But I think that looks pretty good. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the 6.4 mass airflow sensor in this proper position. I'm gonna put it here because I want the boost gauge to work, because the Ford, this 350 here, comes with a factory boost gauge on the dash built into the instrument cluster. But I think that will work. Put the mass airflow sensor there. It's gonna have to cut, as well as what's that other piece it has? It has a air filter reset. Let me find it. So the original filter sits in there like that, right? And you got this tube. So you got this reset. So I'm gonna have to put that reset, drill a hole, put reset in there, and also get a bung for this mass airflow and weld it on that. And I'm gonna have to do the same thing for this side for the intake air temperature sensor number 2, which is right here. Oh, and I already got the bung, very nice bung that I saw on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. And so it fits perfectly. I forget the size. I forget the size off the top of my head. So I think it's a 14 by 1.5 MPT. So no, that can't be right. It's a M. So 14 millimeter by 1.5 thread, I think. Anyway, it'll be in the description. So I'm gonna put this. I can either do it this way, I guess, because they'll sit low. It won't sit too high for the hood, or I can put it in even further down here. Maybe if I put it on this side. Anyway, it's gonna go. It'll go somewhere along this line. But anyway, the bung. I like this bung because it has that lip, which gives it a place to sit. So it's not gonna be off angle. You know, when you put it in, it'll sit perfectly flush because it has that lip. And this is a really nice bung too. Oh, it has the size on there. Yeah, wait a minute, here it is. Yeah, M14 by 1.5. Very nice bung. All right, so that is where we're at. I think we got the green light at this point because I have the drive shaft installed. So since the drive shaft is installed, I can actually finalize these heater core lines, put antifreeze in it, turn it on and let it run. Turn it on, let it run, and probably move it out of this position. Get it to stretch its legs here, or wheels. But looking good, looking good. So I'm gonna see how to finalize these positions, see if they're in a good spot, or do I need to make an adjustment. But so far they look to be okay. I still have to chop this pipe and then chop the lower boost pipe from down there, but I haven't done that yet because I've been waiting for this to show up so I can see exactly how it would sit in there and, you know, what need to be adjusted. But looks good, so let's see about that. All right, here's a reconfiguration. I removed the tube that would go here, and I took off the rubber that would come off of the turbo hot pipe here. So just to get an idea of what it would look like. It's really tight. Everything is compact, but it's not too bad. That oil change is gonna be a pain in the butt because you gotta take off the intake to get to the oil filter, but it can be done. All right. I also put on the coolant hose. I'm gonna have to run a heat shield on this one here, because I don't like it being so close to this manifold. Mine on the on my 550 I have a heat shield, the original, so that helps out. Alright, so I had some free time today, and while I'm waiting on parts here, so I got this kit from DCH, or no, DCS, adjustable throttle pedal, because the 2010 truck has a electronic throttle pedal, but the motor has a cable actuator for the throttle, so we need to make an adaptation now. So I had to pull this out. It had a template on the back of this thing, and I'm assuming they want you to cut the lines off. So I got my template cut out here to the curve. It lands. Where's my little holes that I made? I got my little bullseye marks. So I gotta drill those two out. And then once that's done, I can go ahead and install this piece here, like so. Let me see where my holes are. And then once that's secured with the screws, and this goes here. Of course, it's, you screw it in the hole. Throttle cable goes through there, and now we also got to drill a hole through the firewall so we can get the cable to lock in place. All right, wish me luck. All right, here we are. We got the pedal test fitted in. Oh, come on. All right, here we are. So we got the pedal test fit in. We got everything drilled. Seemed to fit. I had to drill one of the holes on the metal bracket a little bit more because it wouldn't go in. But we are getting there. All right, so I've installed the throw piece for the cable. When you step on the throttle, it's gonna pull the cable forward. So it's not fully tight, it's only string tight, finger tight. So this is gonna be a problem though, this cable here, because I can already see it's gonna whack the cable. It's gonna whack the cable at times. So that might be, well, maybe not. It might just clear it. But it looks like a potential problem. But now the next problem is I need to drill a hole, and the hole has to go through this here, that hole there, and into that space right above that. Well, that's not going to be fun, because how in the world are you supposed to do that? I need a long drill bit now, like a pilot bit, to start, and then go in from the other side is what I'm thinking. Oh boy. All right, I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but I guess I'll figure it out. Remember the motto, or I should say everybody seems to have a motto. Remember, you can't build it, buy it. It's a lot easier. Alright, just did a test fit of the radiator fan to see what kind of problems it's going to have here. So it's not directly centered. So you say, well, just move the engine over. If you move the engine over, you're going to change the angle of this side, as well as the angle of the transmission, which already has its own positioning holes. So I'm assuming this must be the correct spot. So I'm gonna have to shave. The this plastic from the shroud. Let me show you. See, it's gonna have to get shaved, and a certain section of the bottom is gonna have to get shaved too. And I have to keep an eye on the top. The top will probably be fine. Just gonna be this bottom section down there. All right, keep that in mind. Probably gonna use a grinder to shave off that plastic. Okay, so keep an eye on that, on what needs to be done there. But so far, we still look. That's plenty of room for the clearance, though. That's plenty. And this, that is probably, I mean, I'll probably be okay, but I don't like it. I think I gotta put on the top cover to see where this would land. Maybe this needs a harder 90. Well, yeah, maybe a 45. Get it to come over more. Well, we're getting there, folks. All right, I thought I was bound to be finished and get ready to put antifreeze in this thing, but that is a no-go. We got a problem. The problem is the motor is too much to the driver's side. We gotta get it, that fan, a little bit more over to the passenger side. It's too close, because when it spins, it's whacking against the fan shroud, and that's because it's too close to the right. This whole thing got to get shifted over just a hair, probably an inch. So the only way I see that happening is loosening up that mount down there and the one on the other side, and lift and pull to get the nose to swing. So that's gonna be the next task, and all this got to come back out so I can lift it with the engine hoist. All right, so I'm up early to beat the sun because I don't want the sun beaming on me while I'm working. And I did some measurements to make sure the position. So got my straight edge here, and well, it's square, and I aligned the measurements of the radiator, found the center of that, and then after that the center of the motor. The center of the motor is actually right there where the valve cover is, where the radiator comes out. Then I measured the fan. The fan is 25 and a half, I think it was. Anyway, so when I did the math now, it came out to be 12 3/4 is the fan. So I found the center of that. The center of that comes straight up. We are already centered, so what has to happen, I don't need to move the motor. Good thing I did this measurement, because that would have been a lot of energy expended and nothing got accomplished. So I definitely have to focus on chopping a piece of the fan shroud, and the same thing with the the top half of the fan shroud. Let me go get it. So I marked out where it's touching. So it's touching right here, if you can see it pretty good there. And I figured, well, if I chop off this section here, it probably should pass. So I'm gonna chew this down and hopefully that's going to be enough because it's already centered. Okay, so this fan shroud is already broken. So I need a new fan shroud top and possibly a bottom. And a bottom, yeah, and a bottom too, because the clips where it screws in is broken. But anyway, I secured it enough for immediate use or temporary use. So, all right, so everything looks good. Fan, oop, oh, I got pressure on here. See, got a little bit of touch going on here. Where is it touching? Oh, it's touching this when it spins, when the fan spins. See right there? That's because the alignment is off because this is broken. I might have to leave it off on the first run, but that's the general idea. I had it where it wasn't even touching. There we go. Now it's not touching. No, it's still touching. This is okay. Here we go. All right, let's try it again. Oh, that was my pressure. That was me pushing up against it. All right, so that's not touching. It's centered, and man, you got to chop more rubber off. But again, this is broken, and it's throwing the angle off. All these little angles matter. All right, I cut back the rubber a little bit more to make the clearance because it was that fin right there kept whacking. Every time I went up, it kept whacking. So I just chopped a little bit more off. So all right, so now it turns. Now again, this fan shroud needs to be replaced, but this is just a good general idea, both top and bottoms. But you just shave this right hand side down there. All right, so I think we can go ahead and put antifreeze in here and fill it up and get ready to turn it on so we can at least move it in the yard. That'd be good. All right, so I believe I cut enough of this radiator support. What am I talking about? Fan shroud. Because I've even pushed the radiator up against, but it's a lot. Well, not too much, but you got to cut a lot off this right side here to make sure it's gonna clear, because you don't want trouble when this thing is spinning, because this fan will tear up air, all kind of stuff. This motor is not gonna stop. It'll just keep on spinning. But anyway, I think I've got a good spot using this as a good template, given that it has to be replaced anyway. So I chopped it up pretty good, and we'll use it for now, but it's gonna have to be replaced. I'll leave that to the new owner. Okay, here's another test fit. I put on the rad support. Trying to get an idea how it's gonna totally sit. And we got that pipe down there that needs to connect to that. I also flip this to see what kind of angle you can kind of, oops, I'm sorry. I flip this to see what kind of angle I would have here. As you can see, it's a little bit off. Gonna have to do something. Either it's got to get bent more, or you need a better 90 there. But it looks good. Looks good. The fans would be on there too. And here I'm gonna, since everything is in position where they would sit, spin the fan. It doesn't hit anything. Now, you gotta see what it is at high speed though. But it's probably pretty good there.